Yep. Now, call this meeting to order. John, would you like to lead us in the pledge tonight?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There we go. All right, so the first thing, as always, is to approve minutes of prior meetings, the first of which is the work session from October 13th. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes? By John, second by Neil. All those in favor? Aye. And then the regular October 13th meeting minutes. We have a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Bill, Mike, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're going to have a budget work session meeting at 4 o'clock next Monday for anybody who'd like to attend that exciting affair. Our regular meetings coming up are at 6 o'clock on Monday, November 9th and the 23rd, with a work review session prior at 5 o'clock, usually in the room back there. The meetings will be held in the town hall unless otherwise posted. Weather observations for September are available in the town hall. Citizens wishing to be listed on the agenda should try to notify the town hall before noon, the Friday before the meeting. Haunted House, Pemmy Youth Center, grades 5 and up. Thursday, October 29th, 4:30 to 6:30. So I think I just read what this says, but I think what I was trying to say is that there's going to be a haunted house at the Pemmy Youth Center from 4:30 to 6:30 at no charge for children grades 5 and up. And in parentheses it says, and it's in bold font as well, not suitable for young children. So I think that means under grade 5. And then our Halloween celebration downtown Plymouth on Friday, October 30th from 4:30 to 5:30. And then the residential trick-or-treating on Saturday from 5:30 to 7:30. Town offices will be closed Wednesday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day, and there will be a ceremony in front of Town Hall starting at 10:30. And then our next agenda item here is Andy McDonald, a request for appointment to the Planning Board. Is Mr. McDonald actually here? Anybody else? Did you want to address that?
Sure.
Well, I have a letter. Why don't I read the letter?
Yeah.
I have a letter here from Andy McDonald, and it says, "My name is Andy McDonald, and I am requesting appointment to the Plymouth Planning Board. Aside from living in Plymouth, I have worked at Plymouth Elementary School for 9 years. My wife, Britt, and I have 2 daughters that attend school and daycare here as well. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to this new and exciting opportunity. Andrew J. McDonald."
And I know Andy. He was actually my daughter's teacher in PES, and I'm thinking that anyone that would like to volunteer for the planning board is fine and dandy in my book. So I would move that we accept Andy's request for appointment to the planning board.
All right, so is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so motion by Bill, second by Neil. Do we have any further discussion or any comments from anybody about Mr. McDonald's prospective appointment? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
So we will appoint Mr. McDonald, and I think I've got a
Signature sheet.
somebody anticipating that this might occur filled out the form. And this is an appointment of Mr. McDonald to Planning Board. Mr. McIver. then the next item on our agenda is a request for appointment to Park and Rec by Jason Duchette. And again, I'll read the letter. He wrote a slightly longer one, but it says, I am writing to express my desire to be appointed to the Plymouth Parks and Recreation Commission. I have been a resident of Plymouth for 7 years and teach at Linwood Public School. I have 3 children under the age of 8, and our family has been very involved in many of the parks and recreation programs for the past 4 years. Plymouth Parks and Rec has a pivotal role in our community and has done a great job of providing the town of Plymouth with numerous activities and programs. I currently volunteer to coach and help with many programs, but I would like to become even more involved. I am up for the challenge and would look forward to continuing the efforts of the commission and providing great opportunities for our town. Hope that you will consider my appointment to the commission. Please feel free to call me with any questions or concerns. There's a notation on here that the Rec Commission approved this on October 14th for a term, I guess, that's vacant and has expired. Not exactly sure what that means, but so does anybody want to make a motion concerning Mr. Duchette?
So moved to accept.
By John, second by Neil. Any input on that from anybody? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And again, anticipating this, we have appointment form, which we'll sign. We're coming to you, Chief. John will listen to me and sign at the same time. The next item on our agenda is introduce Emmett Plourd. Chief Clogston. Good evening.
What we have here is, we had an opening a little while ago, and through the process, we hired Mr. Emmett Plourd. Emmett started his fire service career back in 2009 down in New Boston, where his father currently is a 19-year assistant chief down there as well. Emmett came to us in 2012 as a PSU student. He's going to classes here to become a business major like a lot of other people are. And he joined up, like I said, in 2012, where he just excelled. Anything we asked him to do, anything he wanted to do, he took that and completed all the courses and all that stuff, and he's just continually growing in the fire service. He wanted to go out west and battle some of the wildland fires out there, so he knew what he had to do. He went out, made sure he was in shape, passed the step test, got all the training and everything that he needed to do that, and I believe he's been deployed twice. 5 times, okay. Out there, so when the opportunity came up, he expressed interest, and he is a perfect fit for the town of Plymouth and the fire department. Like I said, he's been with us now since 2012. So we put him on staff a little while ago, and this is the official introduction, and I would like to have his father come up and do the official pinning on the badge, if that's okay with the board.
Sure, absolutely.
Cliff?
All right, thank you, Chief.
Careful.
Straight, you owe me $10. There you go, my boy. Congratulations.
Did you want to say a few words, Emmett? You don't have to.
I'll just say thank you to the town of Plymouth for hiring me, and thank you to all the guys who've helped me over the years, and trained me, and
Did you bring anybody else with you tonight?
thank you to my mom, my sister, my brother who couldn't be here that always supported me, and of course my dad who got me into this. So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope to stay a long time.
Good luck.
Thank you, Chief. Oh, and I guess you're up, new purchase orders. Is this an ambulance for Emmett?
Yeah.
No?
He'll be working on it.
Yeah. So you, yeah, we have a, well, why don't you tell us what we have?
Okay. It started on the process. We went through a bunch of different vendors, told everybody what we wanted. Specialty vehicles were the ones that came out on top. They could deliver what we wanted and within the financial restraints that we had for that particular vehicle. It's already built. We signed the purchase and sales back a while ago, and this PO that you have in front of you is the final cost of that. This ambulance is four-wheel drive with on-spots, and it comes with
With the on-spots?
on-spots is automatic tire chains that come down to.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Because we're finding with the weather that we're hit with, driveways and all that, and during some winter months, it's very difficult to get around. So we felt the need to purchase something that would enable us to get to the scene of the emergency safely and efficiently.
Sure, yeah.
So, and with the power caught, back injuries and all that stuff, it's just, it'll pick up a 200-pound patient, 700-pound patient.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's some of the things
It
that we deal
happens.
with. It happens. We've actually transported some that were even over that. But this just allows the two guys that are working that they don't actually have to pick the patient up while they're on the stretcher. The power cot will do that for them. So when we take delivery of that, I'll blast out an email. Anybody that wants to come down and take a look at this new technology, by all means, swing by. We can take a look at it.
When will you have it?
We're going down Wednesday to show the guys where we want the lettering on it.
Oh, yeah.
And then once they get that done, they'll bring it up and deliver it. It'll be probably second or third week in November, if not
Nice.
sooner. So, and the rest of the money that's in that line will go towards the installation of the radios and all that. Because once we get it, we still got to put that stuff in, and then we're gonna have the state come up and inspect it, so that they can put the stamp on it, and it'll be a licensed transport ambulance.
Nice, okay.
So,
So how much is left in the line to do the,
it's 230 is what was budgeted.
another 5 or so? Oh, no,
No,
17.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there might be some left over in that once we're all done.
All right. So do we have a motion to approve this purchase order, which is pretty much a done deal anyway, I guess.
Second.
All right, so we've got a motion by John, second by Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think I heard everybody. I don't mean to keep passing them that way first, but they gotta end up down there, right? So.
Yep.
Nothing personal.
Makes sense.
Thanks, Chief.
All righty, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
All right.
Maybe we'll do, just change the order here and take, so these guys don't have to wait if they don't want to. Mike Courier, discuss the skate park. Well, or if you'd like to, I guess you can either be Mike Courier or represent him.
I'm not Mike Curry, for the record. I'm not speaking about medical marijuana this evening, so this might be a lighter conversation. As we all know, most of us know, Mike Currier virtually single-handedly about 7 years ago funded and founded the skate park. And what we don't know is that is located on land of Locomotive LLC, which is Alex Ray's company. And it's come a long, long way. It's gone from a dream to reality. And Mike has had ongoing discussions with the select board and with the town administrator, the town fathers, about donating the land on which the skate park is located to the town to make it an actual park. And the first step in the process is informally to show a rendition of the meets and bounds of the piece that may be included. Kevin French I hope he volunteered this time. Kevin French is here tonight, and we think he volunteered this time. And he has.
How about you, Jack?
We'll talk about that. So long story, we have a plan to show you. Kevin can tell you how he came upon the configuration we have. And basically, it's a piece that complies with our regulations for a subdivision. In fact, it's about a 3-acre piece of Alex's 8 acres. And Kevin's depiction will show you the configuration and the location of dimensions and boundaries. If the board approves that informally as being acceptable, next step is planning board approval to subdivide. Then the process, according to town council, is 2 hearings back-to-back virtually to get public input whether to accept the gift or not. But the first step is just the informal step of coming before you to say thank you for listening and to have Kevin show you the configuration. So without further ado, I'd ask Kevin to step up and present the plan.
Highlighted the area that is, it's 3.89 acres property on the southern end of the tract that Alex owns. And this is the existing gravel travelway that goes through and comes up to Railroad Square and Depot Street. And there, right now, this is where the skate park is, and this is where the concrete graffiti walls are that they have down there. What you'd like to do is convey off this piece, which does have frontage on Route 3, which would meet the planning board requirement for frontage. You'd also give access over this existing traveled way. There were a couple things that we'd like to know, and one of them is that they'd want to keep the right to, with mutual agreement between Alex and the town, to relocate this road at some point in time. The town has talked, actually for many years, about upgrading that road down through. If we did that, at the time that happened, the state requirements would probably call for, require it to come in and have a certain stacking distance and might have to curve into the property at that time. But we wanted to mention that so that going forward, between the town and Alex, said no, by mutual agreement, we may have to relocate that road at some point in time. And the other thing is that we left it, we leaving it with the right that the town could maintain that travel way from there up through Depot Street if it's desired.
What is the red outline area, the location?
Right here? Yeah, that's the chain link fence where the skate park is.
What is the green outline?
What's that?
What's that green outline?
Is that one?
This,
Yeah.
that's a wet area that's,
Oh, okay.
it actually drains under the railroad.
And then would you want to put something in the deed that would permit a reconfiguration if the road became a town road?
Yeah, I would think that would be in the deed. I have noted it on the plan as well, but, because at this point in time, we don't know right where that configuration would be.
Right. And how far up how far up does Alex's
Property goes up to, about, almost up to, in front of Rand's property.
Nice.
And the, what is it? Automotive place is right.
When you say provide access over the existing traveled way, so what does that mean exactly? Would it be from all the way at that end down to this end?
Right,
Okay.
yeah,
Maybe some sort of easement over that.
right.
Yeah.
Kevin, the state really couldn't deny ingress and egress because of the established road
No, they
that's there.
probably couldn't, but the only thing that they would want is, right now, this comes out at a much sharper angle than they would want to have. So they would want to come in at some point more at right angles and then have a stacking.
Perpendicular.
you know, the town has looked at this a number of times over the past 30 years. Every time it stops and then,
Yeah.
but, so in the event that we could keep it going, it would be nice to do that.
Well, it was pretty difficult dealing with the B&M, wasn't it, in Guilford?
Let's see, this is a public meeting, right?
And it's being televised, too.
Okay, yeah, so there were always difficulties in negotiations, I guess. But
Katie, what, how did you come up with this line as a boundary?
well, actually, we came up with that because we have to give it frontage for a town requirement. It didn't make a lot of sense to have the access there, so we provided over right of way over here, and this way it gave, you know, control to move this along in this area was basically it. And it, you know, at some point in time, it may have to come in here, depending on the state requirements at that time, or the town requirements at that time. You know, the town has road requirements that they'd want to follow as well.
Good. Any questions? I guess if anybody has any comments about this, we could listen to them.
I'd like to.
Except you.
Except
Alex, yeah.
To clarify, tonight we are specifically talking about the skateboard department subdivision possibility, not the road, but he's indicating what
Right.
option there may be in the future. So we're not in any way working toward that tonight. That's not the discussion.
No, I understand.
Only
But you
so-
would,
So there remain the flexibility in the future. to
right.
work with.
No, we understand that, I think. Yep, that makes sense. Thank you. All right, there's, I mean, I think we've been okay with this in theory in the past, and I think we probably want to leave the decision-making about the subdivision up to the planning board, but unless anybody has any objection, I think we're pretty much on board with this and think it's a great idea. And the other
Yeah.
thing is, for people who don't know, it's true that Mr. Courier has spent thousands and thousands of hours, I suspect, on fundraising and planning and design and all of the things that go into this. It's been a humongous project for him, and I think the town of Plymouth owes him a great debt of gratitude. And this is a wonderful, not quite culmination, but a nice big step along the way for him and all the kids that benefit from the use of the skate park as well.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
very, very true.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
I think he gets a round of applause.
He does.
I hope my wife's watching this.
You go home now.
Yeah.
No, really, they cheered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Would you like to keep one of these or anything? Just so that
We'll be bringing it to the planning board.
Maybe the town administrator might want to keep one.
You want a copy of the plan now, Paul, or should we just let it?
just so they make sure that I don't like. Like
Yeah,
two-thirds.
right.
Like we usually do.
Thank you.
And then, the next thing I have on here is Veterans Day ceremony prep help, is that, oh, I'm sorry, did I? Oh, yeah, I skipped Northern Pass. So we have on our agenda here Northern Pass update. Oh, and I see our friend Mr. Martin is here. I was going to say that, for those of you who don't know, and I may be getting the technicalities of this wrong, but Northern Pass has submitted its application for approval for its new plan, I guess, to SEC, the Site Evaluation Committee in the state, which isn't the last hurdle along their way, but it's one of them. And, of course, this new plan is somewhat different in that it proposes varying a portion of the Northern Pass, and including the portion, I think, that's planned to go through Plymouth. In fact, I believe they're talking about running it right down Route 3 through Plymouth underground. And I think it's underground all the way from, is it Woodstock, Peter? Or
Talking about from Frank County.
or from Franconia. And so the question I've been asked by Peter and a few others is whether the town is going to file a motion to intervene and essentially become a party to that process at SEC. And I think that's something that we probably want to consider. I mean, I guess if we did decide to intervene, it wouldn't impose any real obligation on us to do anything, but would give us the opportunity to do so if we chose. And we would also be parties so that, or the town would be a party so that we would get notices of things as they developed and know, you know, kind of what's going on. So I don't know, well, and I think the process is at a point where it's been filed with SEC, and we've been given a copy of what's been filed in an electronic form, but the SEC hasn't actually accepted the application, and I don't think they have to for they have up to 60 days, I think, to, and then if and when they do accept the filing, the application, then they will issue an order about process and how long people have to intervene and whatever else they need to do for housekeeping. So I think the question for us is going to be, do we wish to intervene when that time comes, or do we want to wait until we know whether they accept it or not to decide? And I think Peter has been extraordinarily active with this whole process, is much more knowledgeable about than I am, has raised his hand, would like to speak, and we would like to hear from him. So, Peter?
Thank you. My name is Pete Martin. I live in 280 Old Hebrew Road. They have indeed filed. And the SEC has 60 days on which to decide whether or not the permits are in order and so forth and so on. I'd like to suggest tonight that we really need to intervene to protect the town. And we need to intervene as part of a group of as many towns as we can possibly coordinate with. The more of us we have on board, the more chance we have to control this process. They've already tried to extort favorable tax benefits from the towns they've talked to by saying that if you agree to an accelerated tax depreciation, we won't sue you. That accelerated depreciation would be virtually zero in 40 years. They would pay virtually nothing after 40 years. So in 20 years' time, the tax revenue from this line would go to 50% of what it is to start. So this is really a really serious problem. I would like to suggest that at some point they're going to contact you and say they want to have a meeting. I would like to suggest that the board insist that it be public meeting and that the public participate. They've already tried to bypass that. And in Sugar Hill, the select board said, no, there'll be no private meetings with you. And that's when we found out what their plan was for accelerated tax depreciation. So it's in our best interest to make sure that the public is very, very much involved and notified early on so that they can be helpful to you. The other thing is talking about Green Street, and I think we need to be very, very careful to make sure that we don't get hung for the bill, or that we're not inconvenienced as a community overly. Anyway, that's what I came to say tonight, but I really do think it's incumbent upon us to be very vigilant, much less than candid and much less than honest in their dealings. So thank you for hearing me.
Thank you, Pete. So I think my take on this is we should wait until they accept, because they might not. And then, when they do, we'll know, because Pete will tell us if no one else does, Well, and I think the town will know anyway. I mean, we'll see it it'll be in the paper. We will know when it's time to file a motion to intervene, and then I think we'll have time to have a meeting and decide if that's what we want to do. Does that sound like a reasonable,
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. My sympathies are to file for intervener status, but I don't see any problem with waiting until they actually have their application accepted.
Yeah, my feeling about it is there's nothing to lose and everything to gain probably by doing it, but yeah, Paul?
I think we need a vote from the select board to have me and my staff not entertain any of the offers that we've been entertained with.
I'm sorry.
Because it's a significant amount of money and a project.
So should, sorry.
So say again what you wanted us to do?
You would vote
Yeah.
to not allow myself nor any of my staff to meet with Eversource in regards to offers being made to the town on their behalf.
Would that be your preference? I mean, I'm just asking you, is that,
Yeah, because they're constantly calling us and contacting us, as they are doing with many other towns, and we need to know how the board wants us to proceed. I mean, do you
Okay. Well, that makes sense,
not want us to listen to these visits, or, because that makes it simple for us, we put it all on to you.
they've been to see you once, right?
Yes.
And that
They've
was,
contacted us more than once, though.
oh, they have?
Yeah.
And they came to see you shortly after the new, or maybe even the day that the new plan was announced, I think, isn't that right?
Right.
And it was back maybe 3-4 weeks ago, a month ago, maybe something like that. Well, I mean, that makes sense to me that if they want to bring something to the town on this, it ought to be to a select board meeting and it ought to be in public, right? I mean, that makes sense to me, because otherwise, I know they've talked to you about Green Street, and I'm sure,
But a vote from the board would help, because they're following the same procedure that any other entity wanted to come through town is using. So it's not normal for us to not entertain something like that. Unless it's the board's wishes that we
Right.
don't.
does anybody want to make such a motion?
Yeah, I move that, should Paul be approached by Eversource regarding the Northern Pass, that he, I guess, off-put them until the board considers their,
But I'll defer them to the board of selectmen
Yeah, that any,
public
how about,
process. but-
to coming to a meeting.
yeah, inquiries about arrangements that might be made between the town and Eversource in relation to the Northern Pass be presented at a public meeting to the select board.
Yeah. Okay, I'll buy that.
Okay, is there a second to that motion? Any further discussion on it? Mike? No? All right, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Was that clear enough, Ann? I guess it looks like you're taking minutes, so.
We have you on tape.
Yeah, there's that, yeah, that's true, that's true. And then I also skipped over committee reports. Did anybody want to have anything to
I
report
don't
on?
have any.
No.
I don't have any other.
Mr.
Next Monday.
Ahern, I'm not sure you've got a responsibility for a committee that we've given to you. What was
Armand doing?
what was Armin doing?
Was he
He was on.
chamber?
Yeah, the chamber, yeah.
Chamber, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Parade something?
Well, we can talk about that after.
It was the chamber and the parades.
Okay. I think we ought to
You're
put them
gonna
on
have to hang all the
parades
lights.
anyway.
I promised him
council, too.
we would cover it for him. There's
Yeah.
only one during his term.
Bill, did you?
It was a planning board meeting. Unfortunately, I didn't take notes, but we're going to do a walkthrough on Kirk's businesses on Tenny Mountain Highway. He's looking to expand his parking area by, I guess, 18 spots. And we'll have to consider, I guess, the whole layout, and we're going to be, the whole board is going to be doing a walkthrough and meet at the next meeting to discuss it further. Also attended a CCC meeting, which is the,
Campus Community Council.
Yeah,
there you go. And, it was very informative, and it was kind of like news to me that the university is going to consider another residence. They're considering 3 sites that they're going to make a decision on the end of November. It's the first I've heard of it, so it's kind of interesting to at least be informed of that. Anyway.
Okay. And that brings us to the public comment portion.
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
Oh, Veterans Day. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
We didn't discuss it.
We didn't discuss.
As many selectmen as possible, November 11th, which is a Wednesday.
Yeah, I will plan to be
We'll
there.
be
I'll be here.
out front. There isn't a parade. We just meet out front, 10:30. We'll have 3 speakers that day.
And this says preparation help. Did you need some kind of help?
The staff's gonna have to handle that. We've lost the committee and the people that normally back us up on that. It's a little short to get anything together right now. I told Dawn, we'll handle it,
Okay.
so.
All right, so, and then I guess that brings us to public comment. Well,
And just an additional announcement, the day after the Thanksgiving, the town hall will be closed.
Okay, so the
Want to
day,
try to get a couple of those in.
Black Friday, as it's come to be
Yes.
known, the town office will be closed. Was there something else?
So
I
that
just
was
wanted to point out
10:30
that
on November 11th.
November 11th is
10:30.
my Conklin's birthday, so we'll be meeting to celebrate that. So.
Yeah, well, the reason he knows that is because it's his birthday, too.
Same
I
day.
think maybe that brings us to the public comment.
You two do.
Anybody have anything to add, subtract, contest? All right. Seeing none, we'll entertain. What?
I have something for you.
Oh, all
I
right.
was giving them a chance to talk.
Oh, okay. Ann?
We have been approached by an individual who's interested in purchasing the equipment that's in Snowy Gables, which is the 113A building the town took.
For taxes, yeah.
We have been given a price, and what that money could be used for in the future, but we'll definitely bring that all to the board at some point. The price that they've given us is $6,000. We've gone in, we've done an inventory. There's a lot of very abused equipment that really should be getting out of that building if it's ever going to be used again. It seemed like a fair price when Paul and I met with them. And I just need to make sure that the board is understanding we're going to sell it for $6,000, and then we're going to have Paul do a bill of sale to them for that equipment that's in there. In the future, there are several places we'd like to see. Vehicles is one of them that we're having some difficulty with right now. Our code enforcement vehicle is in need of major repairs. We have our emergency management backup vehicle, and we also have another vehicle at the police department that was used undercover that may need to be replaced as well. So we may be...
You're thinking about uses for the $6,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of it just going back against, as a revenue, using it for something. But we'll definitely bring that back if we can,
Okay.
all right?
Yep. Thank you.
And again, the purpose of that is if that building comes down, then we're not gonna be able to get that equipment out of there either. So
Right.
this is them handling all the equipment.
No, it makes sense to
Because
get
we've
rid
got a
of
whole
it.
beam across it, right?
Absolutely.
As is.
Bill?
Is it just like cooking equipment and such, or deep
Yes, we really get 30 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
fryers
the value
and
of-
such, or
Fryers,
Yeah.
Dishwasher, bread machine,
Mixes, whole lot mixes,
yeah.
Are they gonna remove it themselves?
yes. That was part of the,
And then, yeah, that building is definitely getting bad.
right?
Yeah.
So at some point, that'll be another discussion.
and it's the only thing that we're allowed to do right now. We're not allowed to do massive repairs, we're not allowed to put the
We
place
have
on the
to wait
market.
3 years, basically.
We have another year and a half to go.
Yeah.
But we were able to get permission to at least get some of this stuff out, so we can recoup something.
All right. Now are we ready
We
for
need
a
a
motion
motion.
to adjourn? Neil?
Do you need a motion for that?
No, I don't think so. She was just telling us.
Motion to adjourn?
By Mike A. Second by Bill.
Sorry, John.
All those in favor? Sorry, John, if I... All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.